We also see in a season promo that Dr. Wendy Osefo gets into it with Ashley. What's going on there? And do you kind of like this?
Honestly, I found it very entertaining because, you know, if you're a fan of the show, you see that in seasons past, I have been the one who's kind of always been the resident sparrer with Ashley Darby. And honestly, I'm over it. I'm sick of it. I don't want to talk to Ashley about nothing. She can stay over there with her beautiful baby, and I'll stay over here, my beautiful whatever.
Yeah.
So it was just funny to see someone else now having an issue with Miss Ashley, you know, and am I still, oops.
You're still good.
Okay, sorry. My somebody tried to call me. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, my take is that, you know, it ain't just me. I'm not the only one that has an issue that has a qualm with Ashley, and it was just nice to see someone else dealing with all of her smart-mouthed, foolish drama. And Wendy handled herself. She is
no doubt.
She is not a stranger to the read, honey. She has a whole PhD to do that.
She'll read you up, she'll read you down, you know. And apparently later in the season, there's this revelation of Ashley's husband, Michael, allegedly in another sticky situation with some strippers this time. Can you give us a little scoop on how that will play out? Because last season we saw him in a bunch of hot water.
Yes.
Is this season no different?
I just don't understand. It's just the arrogance of it all. Like, people just thinking they're immune and no one's going to find out, no one's going to catch you. And somehow, while we're filming, you always manage to give the people something to talk about. And it always has something to do with you and your pants down. Like, I don't want to think about Micheal Darby with his pants down. It's gross. But the way that this situation presents itself is stranger than fiction. Like, I could not have written the way this went down. And I honestly, I felt bad. I felt bad that it was coming into the fold around a time that was supposed to be about sisterhood and bonding and girl time. And something just kind of dropped in my lap. And I was tasked with, you know, figuring out the best way and the most respectful way to hand it off. But it was, you can't make it up. And I just don't understand. Like, people think they're invincible or something. You're not. Like, we see what you're doing. Just like my new single, I See You, we see you, okay?
We see you and we see each other, Candiace, as Andy likes to say. But, yes, you know, there's so much drama. And I got to say, I think the biggest thing that looks like will happen this season is the drama between you and Monique that's going to go down. Now, from the premiere, it looked as if you two were kind of, you know, got over your disagreement, at least originally from last season. What happens that causes everything to just bubble back up again?
I wish I could tell you. I wish that I had an answer. I'm just as clueless as everyone. And I think that my hope is that everything will play out exactly the way that it happened. And I will be on hand every week to clock and make sure that that is the case. But if it plays out the way that it truly happened, I'm hopeful that the audience will get to make their own opinion and decide for themselves what's what and who is on the right side of history and who is on the wrong side of history. And, you know, I wish I could say more, and I can't wait to be able to really like unpack it and talk about it. But, you know, what I will say is that if there was a way to move forward, I don't know what that looks like.
So is there any hope for reconciliation between the two of you? I mean, do you even know what that path might look like at all?
It's a dark path to me. You know, and again, there's so much that I wish that I could say, but what I've been saying of late is, in a situation with a friend, and something big goes down like this, if you fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, that's on you, girl.
Well, you know, correct me if I'm wrong though, because you went into filming this season like fine with Monique, right? Like, there was no off-camera drama, you were open and friends, right? Or am I reading that incorrectly?
From my end, my camp, we were all good.
Interesting. Okay. And then, you know, on top of that, what do you think of the Ashley Monique friendship? Do you think that that's genuine, or do you kind of think that that has been a result of maybe them not being so great with you?
I don't care.
You know how to read a woman too. That's why I love you, Candiace. I love you. Well, last season, there was a lot going on with your relationship with your mother. Will we see a shift in that relationship for the better this season? How are you all getting along?
We are getting along a lot better now. I think the gift and the curse of this show is that you do get to kind of go back and see yourself on TV and on camera. And that's a really unique set of circumstances. So we've both had a chance to kind of take a personal inventory of ourselves and the way that we interact with one another. And it's helped us in the long run. I think at first it was like sticker shock for her because she's not used to seeing herself, you know, in a particular light. But as she's had time to kind of let it marinate and sit with it, I do feel like she has come to terms with the fact that, you know, we have some communication hiccups. And we're good. Like, we were on the phone for like 4 hours until like 1:30 in the morning last night. Wow. Talking about house stuff. So I'm still looking for a house, and my mom is on my home search brigade. Her and her best friend are like my consultants. So we were talking about some house stuff last night, and we were fine. It was the mother-daughter relationship that I feel like every mother and daughter wants to have.
Does Chris get any consultation on where you're going to live, or he's just kind of in the side? He knows better than to say anything. I got to know where he stands.
Yeah. So Chris gets a say on the basement and the kitchen. Those are his two areas.
Okay.
And when I'm looking, I obviously will take into consideration what kind of kitchen he wants to cook in. And then he can have the whole basement, and the rest of the house is for me. And then my mom obviously will have a room in our home because that's important to her.
She'll have the big bedroom. We all know how that goes. Now, the question though, Candiace, are we staying in budget for this guy?
Budget, schmudget, Darren. Who cares? Okay, no. No, my husband will not allow me to operate outside of the budget. I will try. I'm going to try my damnedest, but we'll see. That's yet to be seen. We're still looking. So you'll know if my husband is side-eyeing me when we move into our new home, you know that I got my way. And if I'm side-eyeing him, he got his way.
Kitchen, basement, and budget. Those are Chris's three main priorities. Candiace, as always, thank you so much for stopping by and giving us the scoop. I am so excited for this season of Potomac. Thank you again.
Thank
you. Seeing you.
You too.
People, make sure you're tuning in to season 5 of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Sundays at 9, 8 Central on Bravo. You get to see the gorgeous Candiace.